YouTube. How's it going, guys? You good? Welcome, TPB's Tech-Bodge Emporium. Welcome to the video. How's it going? If you come from before, welcome back. If you're new, I'm sorry. Anyways, in this one, we have got this. This is my son's gaming laptop. It is a 2021 KATANA GF6611UG. It has a 11800H, which is an 8-core, 16-thread, all-core boost clocks of 4.4, I think, and a laptop 3070, which is essentially an 8GB 3060, pretty much desktop level, like with a little bit less power draw. So so you get an idea of what he gets in the way of gaming. He loves the thing, but basically for Christmas I bought him a battery upgrade. You see, MSI never really released an upgrade for the battery for this over the, what is it, 53 watt hour battery. So they never really they never offered a bigger battery in this chassis, so there isn't necessarily an upgrade for this. But however, through some extensive research and double checking and quadruple checking and sextillion checking, I checked it a lot, alright? I found that the battery from a MSI Alpha 15 fits in here. Same connector, wires are all in the same settings, but the advantage is that battery goes up to a 90 watt hour. So I've got him that battery, and we're gonna upgrade this. We're gonna install it. Funnily enough, the laptop itself does actually come with space for the battery. Spoiler, this is the next morning. I don't want to spoil my kid's weekend whilst he's here, so I took it off him last night quite late, and I've done all the fitting. Don't worry, I recorded it so we can go through it. So we're gonna have to go back into the past to do that, but mainly because after you've fitted a new battery, you use MSI's center, and there's a battery configurator in there. So basically what it does is it fully charges the battery, then it completely depletes the battery, and then it fully charges the battery again, so that the laptop actually can record what's happening with the battery more accurately, because it now knows that it's like almost double the capacity. But with him coming closer to sort of college years and stuff, like, and even when this thing starts to waver on the gaming side of things, like, it's still going to be more than enough laptop for anything to do with like school or anything like that, like or college or anything. So on that side, it's a full advantage. All the extra copper that I've put in here over the time has caused a little bit of a not quite perfect fit, but the battery fits in beautifully. So yeah, shall we get into putting the battery in, and I'll show you how easy it is to upgrade and what needs to be removed and stuff, and how easy it is to work with the software, and it, just in case you have a KATANA GF6611UG, I'm sure that this would still work as well for the GF6611UE, the UD, or the UC, because I don't think having a different CPU and GPU, well, it's just a GPU to be honest, having a different GPU in the system is going to make a blind bit of difference to where the power supply is in there. So yeah, shall we get on to getting this battery in? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share. Right, okay guys, here's the laptop and the new battery. We have the BTY M55 It is a 90 watt-hour battery and a nice little upgrade. I don't know, is it 68.22 or something percent of a capacity increase? So that's all good. We'll just pop that up there out the way, and then let's get into this laptop, shall we? So we'll just flip it over. Right, I'll just get this back off. Let me just undo these screws. Now, these screws aren't necessarily captive. They're kind of like half captive. They will stay put. What I usually do is I just keep the screws in their holes, and I just make sure that the laptop stays this way up, this orientation basically, and it just means none of the screws get lost or fall out. So just quickly, I'm going to grab my favorite pry tool at the moment, which is this little Talon Games pry tool you get free with the skates. The thing's friggin' awesome. We're going to make light work of this laptop now. Absolutely flying it off. Right, so that's out of the way. We're into the laptop now. As you can see, I've just piled a load of copper in here to deal with the core clocks. There is one little space left. I've got some more clocks to chase. There is one little space left just here. I've been thinking about an idea. Right, anyway, should we get this battery disconnected? Now, with these battery connections, all I would suggest is that you just get it started. Get it started to move out through the plug, and then you can just give the cable a bit of a bit of a yank, you know. So I've got it moving there, so I'll just give the cable a bit of a pull, and we're disconnected there. Right, so let's get this battery out. I'll just unscrew these screws now quickly. Oh, almost forgot that one. Now this is a moment where I really kind of screw up a little bit, but this is the old battery, the BTY M492, which is a 53.5 watt-hour battery. As you can see on the connectors here, the wiring setup are the same. This is really important. You need to double check, quadruple check. This is me like checking for the 100th time. Right, we need to remove the blocks. Right, so I see you hear me say yes, blocks. I only removed one at this point, which was a mistake, but we'll go into that after. So this is me being an idiot and basically assuming that I need to cut some of these tabs off. So at this precise moment, I'm thinking extreme brutality for this thing to get it to fit. But in all honesty, I don't even think I needed to cut a single thing off. I think it all would have fit if I'd just removed something from underneath and just looked at it properly. But unfortunately I didn't, and I tore it apart. So that's what I'm going to go figure out how I'm cutting that off now. So if you have a look here, there's this pad and this pad. I should have removed these. We will go back and get rid of them afterwards, but if I'd have removed them, then the screw holes that are already on the battery will have fitted to this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole, this hole. And that would have meant that I wouldn't have had to cut off the tabs that line up with the holes for the case, which are here and here. It would have fitted fine. But because I was being an idiot, I used some nail clippers to just trim everything off. So you see that bit on the end being cut off. You can see these front tabs on here. You will see very shortly that I removed them like an idiot to get it in and for it not to impede on the case. Realistically, all I had to do was remove those two pads, but as you can see, I'm just sort of like trying to muscle it in, find some screws that lined up. If I used my eyes, I would be able to see that all of the screw holes lined up, but I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, oh, chop it off. So as you can see, I cut these tabs off at the front. I mean, it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. Like the battery's not moving anywhere. But as you can see, I wrestle in a couple of screws because obviously they're not going deep enough because there's too much padding underneath. But I persevere and I managed to get a couple of screws in it. You don't need to do this. You remove those two pads and the battery will just fit. There's actually screw holes for like pretty much every connection. If you have a look at the front here, you can see that those 2 tabs are actually lining up with those 2 screw holes, and it's the same on the other end. It's just because those pads were underneath, they weren't lining up right. So yeah, completely my fault. That being said, I just, let's get this case back on here, and I'll show you what you have to do next, and we will just see if it fires up in it. So for the boot, I thought I'd just run it in real time, so you could see the see what was stressing me building up whilst doing this. So I hit the power button, lights, that's a good sign. The MSI shield, that is a very, very good sign. And then it sits on this loading screen for an astronomical amount of time. And I was just starting to panic a little bit, just a tad. But fortunately, eventually, it did just boot straight into Windows. But I wanted you to see roughly, if you do this mod, how long it's going to take to fire up, so you don't have to panic too much at this point. This is easily the point where I would have been like, what's going on? Why is it not booting? And then I've seen the screen flash and I'm like, oh yes. And then the next thing, I seen please wait, and I was like, oh, we're not getting a Windows update, are we? And then boom, into Windows. So just jump into his desktop here, and what you need to do in here is basically you need the MSI Center. I have to download it on this because I actually removed it, but give me a second, I'll just download that. So yeah, whilst you're in here, you have to download the separate things, and you want that system diagnosis one. Open that up, and then what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are powered and connected, and this needs to stay put through this entire process. So then you click on the battery calibration, little square thing there, just click on that, and then it will do its checks, make sure that everything is ready to go, and you just click start. And then you leave it for an astronomical amount of time. So what the system will now do is it will fully charge the battery, then it will fully drain it, and then it will fully charge it again, and then you're good to go. So that's how that works. Literally, it does take like an astronomical amount of time. Right, okay guys, so we are done. The laptop's running fine. I did have to go back in after doing that fitting. Once in the morning, basically, I left it do its thing with the power cycle and stuff, and then in the morning, I double checked over everything, and it needed basically where are they? I forgot to remove underneath the battery because it wasn't fitting properly at the front here along this edge. It was just literally popped up in the middle, and I was like, and the screws, you could tell that the screws were tightening it, and it was just bulging, and I was like, oh crap, is there something wrong with the battery? Because, you know, bulging battery, get it out the fucking laptop in it, I'll put the old one back in. But no, I forgot to remove these things. They're literally just underneath the battery. What I did is I've got a little bit of rubber tape here, so I replaced it with that rubber tape, and yeah, it fits fine now. Basically, these are just like spacers for the thinner battery. So this laptop, from what I can see, especially with the screw places, because I also managed to get a screw in at either end of the battery this time when I went back in, instead of just at that one end. And the holes almost line up, so it's really odd, because it feels like this laptop was literally designed to take this battery, and they just decided to save some money and put a smaller battery in it, because, you know, didn't need the big one. But because there's so much sort of blocking and spacing out that was used under the battery, that once you remove it, this battery fits the whole thing so beautifully, like. So I don't know. But either way, it's in, it's working. everything's absolutely sweet. So he's now got like almost double the capacity of battery in his laptop. I mean, this thing has been, I'm not sure what much more I can do. I mean, I can upgrade his boot drive because he's on an old boot drive there, 500 gig old boot drive. He's got a 1 terabyte game storage in there, but he's also got a 1 terabyte external that he uses for Steam. All his other games go on the internal. He's got 32 gigs of DDR4, and they are desktop timings. They are 30. They are CL16, but they're also like 38. So they're really quite tight little DIMMs, and not the easiest thing to get your hands on desktop timings on laptops. But I managed it. So it's got that. It's got its batteries, double deck plug. I've put so much extra copper in here to try and get the core clocks up, because this laptop is not designed to have an 8-core CPU in it. I reckon it was only designed to really take maybe a 6-core, maybe an i5, and they just thought, oh, we've got these i7s. Should we just chuck them in there to boost the price, give it another price point? So yeah, I've added a load of copper in here to try and get the clocks, to be honest, because obviously this thing's supposed to be able to all core at 4.4. When it was stock, it was thermal throttling it down to about 3.2 all core. With all this extra copper and stuff, I've got it to do 4.2. So I've got another 200 megahertz to find, like, so that might be a future video, a bit more cooling to be added to this. See if we can really push squeeze the last bit of performance out of it. And but yeah, he's gonna be chuffed, because now his laptop's gonna last him ages when he's just doing work and stuff. Because these older gaming laptops, basically what they do is when they're on power, they use the dedicated GPU, but when they're on battery power, they automatically use the onboard graphics. So for doing like schoolwork and stuff, this should last him a lot longer between charges, and he's always going to be plugged in when he's gaming. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Right, guys, this is a couple of weeks later. I wanted to make sure that everything was running fine with the laptop and stuff before I released the video, basically saying, yeah, do this. But as it stands, my son told me that he went 2 or 3 days just doing coursework and stuff on his laptop, and he hadn't charged it in between. So being able to go a couple of days without having to recharge it is absolute awesome for him. So yeah, battery's working, it's all in, it's all working, he's super happy, and yeah, result. So yeah, I'll leave a link for the battery down below, but if you just sort of search that BTY-55, is it? If you just search that, you'll be able to find a battery to match. But again, very important that you check the connector and the orientation of all the cables on the connector, just in case, because that is important. Great success! Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Love you, bye. Like and subscribe. Thank you.